Happy Manga Monday to you. And if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Zoe and this is my channel, Ms. Manga, where I talk a lot about manga. Oh my gosh. And I just want to start this video off by saying I can't believe the channel is almost at 300 subscribers, and so I just want to thank you all who have subscribed. It means so much to me. I know I got a lot of subscribers after my room tour video, but I hope you stick around for this weird rambling content as well as I talk about manga I love or didn't love, or anime, or even K-dramas or what have you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It would mean so much to me. Anyway, moving on to what we're talking about today, I'm going to be talking about a series I completed recently, and that series is Fire Punch. So I have a lot to say about this series, and most of it is spoilery. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I mean, if you haven't read it yet, maybe read it and come back to this video. I'm going to tell you exactly when the spoilers start. But yeah, this series was a lot. And yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way, that there will be a lot of spoilers, but I will tell you exactly when those spoilers happen. So yeah, first we'll just talk a little bit about my thoughts in general. So yeah, let's dive into Fire Punch. This is an 8-volume complete series, and it is a dystopian thriller. So first I'm going to go over my vague kind of overall thoughts on it and a little bit of a synopsis on what this series is about, and then I'm going to go into spoilers about just volume 1. So if you want to hear a little bit more about it, but you don't want to be spoiled on the whole series, I'll put on the screen when I start talking about that, and then I will be getting into the whole gist of the series. So yeah. Sit down and buckle in, because this is a hell of a ride. So in general, my feelings about Fire Punch, it's really hard to concisely explain how I feel, if that makes sense. It's such a different type of story, and I've given it a lot of thought, and I still can't quite wrap my head around my feelings about it. It was compelling in ways, but also kind of just mind-boggling in other choices. And I found when I sat down and I started reading it, I would be pretty sucked in. I'd be interested. I'd probably keep reading a volume, or 2 or 3 at a time. But when I put it down, it was really hard for me to grab another volume and start reading again, if that makes sense. Like, I do think it was well told, interesting, and I liked the general gist of it, which I'll go into now. So the synopsis of Fire Punch, I'll just read straight from the back of volume 1. Orphaned siblings Agni and Luna, like the ice witch who cursed their world, are 2 of the blessed, humans who hold special abilities. However, not all who are blessed are friendly, and after another of their kind attacks Agni and decimates the orphans' village, Agni fights to survive, vowing revenge. So yeah, it's a tale of revenge, kinda. It's definitely a tale of siblings, kinda. I mean, it definitely is, but then it takes many windy, turny, strange, sibling-esque. We'll get into it in the spoiler territory. And Agni is trying to provide for this village and mostly for his sister, Luna, who he cares very much for. They have a strange relationship out the gate, and it's about the blessed. So the blessed, which they put in quotes, not me, but they're just essentially people who have these special powers. Agni and Luna's power is regeneration. Agni is much quicker at regenerating than Luna, and the person that comes into their village's power is fire that never goes out. It can't be extinguished until it's destroyed, whatever it's engulfed, essentially. So yeah, like there's some really intense powers, which I mean, I thought the fire power was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's devastating, it's depressing, it's really intense, and throughout the book is very, very devastating consequences with this power. So yeah, but I mean, that like definitely is a very interesting aspect to the series, I have to say. So I really like that bit, and I like there are battles throughout the series. So if you like action-packed, a bit gory, a bit intense battles, then definitely they're chock full. So the premise of the series itself I really liked. It was the characters that I didn't really like, and I can't say so much about them because that would be spoilers again, and I just want to do this little bit spoiler free for anyone who's kind of interested in picking up the series. It's not that I disliked the characters. Agni is an interesting, complex protagonist. There's just special things going on with his obsession kind of towards his sister and their unique relationship. It's what I would call incest adjacent. It never really gets incestuous, but it's close. It's very much weird territory. The sibling dynamic, his obsession with Luna in the course of the series, it's a bit odd. I don't exactly know what that inclusion does for the series itself. I would have preferred it without that, you know, personally. I think I would have liked the character of Agni and been more invested in his journey of revenge without the complication of the sister feeling thing stuff. And there is one character that I really do like, and that is Ogata. Now, they are really interesting, really complex, and I just think fascinating. I think, like, honestly, I would have rather the story just be about Togata and their mission to make a video, because their library of DVDs got destroyed, and so they're very depressed. And also immortal. They have these regenerative powers, kind of like Agni and Luna do. And so Togata is kind of stuck living without their movie collection. And while reading it and the emphasis on movies itself, it kind of took me back a little bit. And then I kept thinking about it more, and I'm like, yeah, you know, if I was an immortal being stuck in this desolate ice age of a world, couldn't die, didn't have many forms of entertainment left, I would want to escape into movies. I did kind of get that obsession of certain characters that were, you know, immortal, that had lived hundreds of years. I thought that seemed realistic in a way. So yeah, overall, it's well written. There's interesting, thought-provoking things about the series, and it definitely sticks with me. I mean, I keep thinking about it, which I think is the mangaka's intention. I kind of read a little bit on him. I don't usually look into mangakas, to be honest, but like I was kind of interested, and one of the things Fujimoto said when asked, what do you bear in mind when creating manga, Like example, personal themes and through lines. Fujimoto replied, I try to create scenes that readers will remember until the day they gasp their dying breaths. So it says a lot to me about what he wants out of the manga he creates. He wants to make such unusual and interesting art and stories and scenes that like really stick with you, which I think he accomplished with Fire Punch. With all that being said, I think if you like stories that are more in the realm of bizarre and unusual and will make you think and will stick with you, maybe not for all positive reasons, but definitely a thought-provoking and interesting story. I mean, very, very interesting. Then, yeah, that's Fire Punch. With that, we now go into Volume 1 spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything further than that, click off, read the series, then maybe come back and hear what I have to say about it. So we have Agni and Luna that, if you remember, have this regenerative ability. And then we also have this Ice Age created by the Ice Witch, which, you know, might understandably create a food shortage. You know, can't grow crops, maybe animals have died off, can't survive as well in these harsh cold conditions. So you might be connecting the dots here. Agni takes it upon himself, you know, doesn't want his sister doing it, but he will cut off his limbs in order to feed his sister and the townspeople. It's kind of gross. Again, I kind of get it. His arms grow back. It's fine. Like, no harm, no foul, right? Like, it's not like he's murdering people to feed people or anything real drastic. It does kind of give me the ick, you know, a little cannibalism, and it's a little weird. But yeah, that is where we meet Agni and Luna. And this is also Volume 1, right off the bat, where the incest adjacent things start happening. So first, we first get the weird quote, which out of context is even weirder, but because we know, you know, she's referring to his, you know, the meat that he provides, she says, "You're so tasty, brother." Oh God, Luna, stop it. Just stop it. But then it gets worse, because this is the first chapter of the first volume, okay? I'm not even like getting too deep into the first volume. We go from "you're so tasty" to Luna saying, "Brother, make a baby with me." Stop it. Get some help. Neither of which were sentences I thought that I'd be reading, let alone back to back. Like, what am I reading? Help. Send help. So yeah, that is just, we're just launched into that. That's strange. Thankfully, Agni's like, "No, you're my sister. That's not good. No." Bravo, Agni. This is why I say incest adjacent, because technically, this is the only kind of really weird incestual things that happen, because right, like in the next chapter, we have Doma enter the scene, and he is from this city. It has its own hellish things going on, and it's very much not a utopian paradise or anything, but yeah, he is just like sent on these like excursion missions to find kind of essentially slaves. So that's where Doma's from. Lovely little place. And he has that power I mentioned. Doma's fire doesn't extinguish until whatever he's set fire to has completely been destroyed. He finds out that the village is eating people, that they are cannibals, essentially. And even though Agni tries to explain, you know, that he cuts his own limbs off and then regrows them because he's regenerative, blessed. Doma doesn't care. He says the village is cursed and condemns it. So he sets all the people on fire. Luna and Agni are regeneratives, so they are being consumed and in this hellish fire, but they're not dying. Like, it's like a intense, like, continual pain, and I can't even imagine it. Like, the way like Agni talks about it throughout the series, definitely, like, I could sympathize with a lot of the things that happen with him and understand, like, yeah, that sounds really brutal and messed up. Anyway, Luna is not as quick to regenerate, so it's eating her up more, but she's still kind of alive. Anyway, so she tells her brother to live, and guys, just remember that going forward, there's really no more sister. She has died. Luna died. It does not stop the weirdness though. But anyway, moving on. Agni is now alive. He didn't die and burn up, so the fire keeps burning. If he touches a person or a thing or a whatever, that now has the Doma fire that will not stop burning until it is turned to ash. So he's got like 2 blessed powers kind of, but the fire is causing him immense physical and then mental pain from that physical pain. So like the physical pain of the fire continuously eating at him and his body regenerating has then caused a lot of mental strain. Understandably. I can't even imagine it. And yeah, so Agni is on a quest of revenge to kill Doma for what he did to his village, and especially his sister, who he loved a lot. And yeah, so on the way there, he encounters a look-alike Luna. So a woman that looks suspiciously like Luna. He gets all, you know, mentally confused. It calls her Luna, and even though he knows Luna is dead, she looks like Luna. So he doesn't want to hurt her or set her on fire or anything. And she wants to kill him because he is a walking threat. And then she also happens to be from the city that Doma's from. So they end up bringing Agni to the place that he kind of wants to be. But meeting Doma again, he doesn't know if he can continue his quest for revenge because Doma isn't the same man that he was when he set their village on fire. Then as they try to dispose of Agni, that's when Togata, that I mentioned before, comes into play. She had heard rumors of a man on fire, a fireman, and she thought, hey, this is going to be the star of my own movie, because all my movies, remember, her movies got destroyed. So she thinks, okay, maybe I'll make my own movie. I'll make a movie featuring this fireman because he seems like an awesome hero protagonist for my movie. And that is what's keeping her going. And yeah, so that's kind of the rundown, spoilers of volume 1, and then I got into like a little details of how the story progresses from there and all the characters kind of coming together. And so yeah, that is the end of that spoiler section. And now we're just gonna be the broader, all the spoilers from the rest of the 7 volumes, all 8 volumes, spoilers. So this is your warning to click off, last chance. Okay, so let's get into it. My feelings of Fire Punch are so complicated because although I like these pieces that I mentioned, the whole incest adjacent thing, I'm gonna just tackle that first, get that out of the way. So what bothered me is this Luna lookalike, right, comes into play. That city that I mentioned that Doma came from, she's kind of like the head of that city. So, you know, indirectly or directly, however you want to look at it, she is also responsible for Agni losing Luna and yet she looks like Luna. So Agni doesn't really want to kill people that are innocent, you know, like, and that's reiterated throughout the story. And yet his fire is so destructive, and he also is in such a delicate mind space, you know, like I said, the physical demands, the physical pain that he's enduring just to live, it messes with his mind. So a lot of the things he does, it's because he's not thinking clearly, or almost dissociates. It's very, that part again, it's very interesting. But anyway, so he burned the whole city to the ground. A lot of things happen. I'm not going to go into all the details of the story. You've either read it yourself or you don't care at this point. But he does burn the city to the ground, essentially killing hundreds, if not thousands, of people that were innocent and just trying to survive. He does do good, on the other hand, by saving the slaves, the people that were literally being used as like batteries and power for their city, and just like literally like letting them sleep like a couple hours and then just forcing them to exert their power until eventually they die, which is just so sad and messed up and just, it's just fucked. But yeah, anyway, he does save them, so he does do good. And then he immediately does not do good, but to the people he saved, he becomes a sort of god. Anyway, this is where the Ice Witch enters and captured the Luna lookalike. I don't even care what her name is. Like, literally, Aggie doesn't care, so I don't care what her name is. She's a Luna lookalike. And then it happens that the immortal who took the Luna lookalike also kind of looks like Luna. What the fuck? They never explain why they all kind of look like Luna. I'm sorry, Luna lookalike is being transformed into the tree now. This was the ultimate plan of the other immortal being that also kind of looks like Luna. But anyway, we're not going to talk about her. So Agni is trying to save Luna, and in the process, a sort of miracle happens where he does save her. He stops her from becoming the tree, stops the growth of the tree or whatever, and loses his fire powers somehow. Kind of not explained. Don't really get it, but okay. And loses an arm that won't grow back now. So his regeneration power is not really working as much now, I guess. Again, not quite really explained what's happening. Did he kind of give up his power to the Luna lookalike to save her? Not quite explained, just kind of glossed over. But Luna lookalike is alive now and conveniently has amnesia. Doesn't remember who she is. Oh boy. So the first thing that, of course, Agni says is Luna. And so she's like, oh, is that my name? Is my name Luna? So now she goes by Luna. So this is why I say it's incest adjacent, because essentially he does not get with his sister. Thank everything. Thank everything. But because she looks like his sister and essentially has no memories, and they spend a couple years, there's passage of time, they meet some people, they spend years with these people that actually have a link back to Doma, which is very fucked up in the end and everything, because Agni essentially killed their friends and family. When I said he lost his mind, yeah, he kind of burned people alive, kind of like Doma did to him. He snapped and kind of dissociates and ends up burning Doma and young children people. Anyway, those children had association with these children. He meets up with, like, I don't want to say children, but they're like teenagers or young adult type. You know, they're not super, super young, but they are, you know, they're women living on their own, trying to survive. So he, you know, isn't on fire anymore. So they don't know that he's the one responsible for what happened to Doma. And they take him in. And the Luna lookalike, who's his sister but not his sister, and he tells people that she's his sister. She's not his sister. The whole thing's very weird. And then eventually he ends up porking his sister, sister, Luna lookalike. And that's where my mind just kind of went. I don't know. I don't know if this is good series. I don't know if it's a bad series. All I know is that it literally made my brain just kind of stop and crumble. Like deflate. Like just like a balloon. Like my brain just deflated and I just went, what am I reading? What am I reading? And then, of course, the people they've been living with kind of catch him. And then, like, you know, he had said she's his sister, which, I mean, granted, she's not, thank God. But still, like, they think that he just his sister. And she apparently realized through the course of these years living together, they couldn't possibly be siblings. Somehow she came to that conclusion. And so, but like the original Luna that was his actual sibling, wanted to get busy, and because she wasn't the actual sister, even though she looks like her, it was okay then for him to her. This one's okay. The first sister, we said no, but this sister, this one's okay. I don't know. This is the part I just can't wrap my head around. All that to say, the series ends with Agni regaining his fire powers and regenerative powers and everything, and Luna lookalike decides she will become the tree. And so they have this big battle again where the Luna lookalike is wanted to be turned into a tree by the people again to, you know, make things easier for them. Understandable. Agni fights everybody because he doesn't, you know, want them to kill Luna lookalike, his sister that's not his sister that he just banged. Anyway, so he's fighting against everybody. He's wreaking havoc. He's killing people he used to know. He does a lot of damage. And in the end, Luna lookalike, who does go by Luna now, by the way, it's such a mindfuck. So she becomes the tree, essentially. I mean, Agni doesn't want her to, is fighting, and she's like, tells someone to take care of him. And then he gets amnesia. What is going on? Anyway, she becomes a tree. He has amnesia and has essentially become an immortal being, living in this somewhat utopia, because the tree has given them, you know, the ability to grow things on it and stuff, but it hasn't thawed the whole world. It's only thawed a certain amount, which again was a very interesting concept. I actually wish he would have devoted more time, like, kind of going into that next, because, like, they mention other people trying to, you know, take their land or burn their crops because they have, and the have-nots want what the haves have, you know. It's just, it's become a different kind of dystopia. So I thought that was really interesting. And if we just took out all of the incest and incest adjacent shit, and we put one half this story that we went through with, you know, 7.5 volumes, and then truncated it down to like 3.5, 4 volumes, and then the next 4 was about this other part, post Luna tree world. I thought that would have been really interesting, but they kind of just speed run through that, which was a disappointment. And then they kind of show the earth decaying and the roots of the tree decaying, and so essentially showing us lots and lots of time passes. Then Luna, who seems to be in space again, kind of really just out there concept wise, and Agni somehow meets her in this void, this endless void that Luna has, essentially Luna lookalike Luna has been trapped in, and eventually some point they reunite. Hallelujah. Am I supposed to be happy about that? Because yeah, Fire Punch was crazy. Okay, so this video is probably all over the place, and I'm sorry because I gotta just wrap it up and be done and move on from Fire Punch. I'm very, very curious to hear what your thoughts are if you've read this series. love a good, discussion in the comments. Let me know, did you love Fire Punch? Did you hate it? Did you think it was weird like I did and you can't wrap your head around how to feel about it? Because it had really great things and then really weird shit just didn't mesh in my mind. And yeah, I would love any thoughts you had on it. And yeah, in the end, I didn't enjoy the series, but I didn't not enjoy the series. It's very much like a thought-provoking series. It's very interesting, but at the same time, one that I just kept repeating, what the fuck? Over and over again. And yeah, so my general consensus of Fire Punch is you just have to read it yourself because it's that wild. I don't think listening to someone talk about it does it justice. It is definitely an experience. And it's something I just really can't easily sum up how I feel about, and that doesn't happen to me much. Usually I love a series, I hate a series, or the series was okay, but it was nothing special. This had special moments, but really not special moments. It made me feel confused, just confused. And yeah, if you like this video, leave a like. I know it's a shit show of video, but I tried to tell you how I felt about Fire Punch. And yeah, until next time.